Winning edition of the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla. You are a fan of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they won big tonight against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Diamondbacks win by a score of 7-3, and everything went the Diamondbacks' way tonight. Ketel Marte extends his hitting streak to 20 games. Jock Peterson, the Jock Peterson agenda continues. He gets a big dinger. He gets RBIs, number 499, 500, and 501 with that 3-run home run. Corbin Carroll hit a double. Everything was rolling the Diamondbacks' way, of course. Welcome in to another edition of this show. Like I said, my name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. Of course, we have the one and only Damon on the ones and twos. And of course, Jesse Friedman will be joining us from Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles here shortly. But
enemy territory.
He is in enemy territory. Of course, I'm going to be worried about him all night long. I don't know the quality of the hotel he's staying at. Usually he stays with friends. He's not staying with friends this time. So I didn't get a chance to vet the people he was staying with like I normally do. I didn't get to check with the general manager of the hotel because Saul would not disclose to me because it was none of my business where he was staying once again. And I don't like any of that. But what I do like is the direction of this game because the Diamondbacks, of course, like I talked about last night, they did a good job. Even in a game that went the way that last night's game went, they did a good job of playing against the Los Angeles Dodgers. That carried over to today, where we saw this team do everything kind of well. I mean, there were a couple mistakes, nothing perfect, but man, Brandon Pfaadt absolutely shoved in this game. Big win for him. He kept the Dodgers hitless through 3 innings. Shohei Ohtani, of course, continues to be a problem, because he is, and he will never not be. But Brandon Pfaadt, again, excellent for this team. He went out there and tossed his 5th consecutive quality start and 6th of the season after allowing 2 earned runs or 6 innings, over 6 innings with 7 strikeouts and 1 walk. Again, 6 innings pitched, 4 hits allowed, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. He walked 1 and struck out 7. Pfaadt was incredible, and he continues to develop into the Diamondbacks, I guess, secret weapon when it comes to the starting rotation. We know Brandon Pfaadt was kind of seen at one point as maybe he could be a quality starting pitcher for this team, but he is that now, and he really rapidly is kind of becoming the ace of this staff as far as what he's able to give this team consistently every 5 days. What do you think, Damon, of what we saw out of Brandon tonight?
I mean, I just think he's been our best pitcher this season. And he continues to get better and better, and it's exciting to see that we have a guy like this that we can build around for a long time. Imagine if we re-sign Zach Gallen, and then this is just our 1-2 for the foreseeable future. I mean, that feels pretty good, doesn't it? I
mean, what feels pretty good is that when the Diamondbacks essentially do have a healthy starting rotation, you expect me to believe that Brandon Pfaadt is the 5th man in the starting rotation. He's number 5.
I'm sorry, Erod is the 5.
In what universe? Yeah, Erod might be the 5. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter because we're way past opening day. So it's really going to be where they get slotted in at, when they're ready to come back. Hopefully we'll see Erod here return soon and bolster this starting rotation. But when you discuss what the Arizona Diamondbacks needed out of Brandon Pfaadt tonight, they got it. They absolutely got it. And I mean, he wasn't the only pitcher that shoved for this team, because let's talk about my dog. And I know Damon gets a little bit mad every time I say that, so I won't bring up that we are dogs again. But my dog, Ryan Thompson, this man, can we talk about Ryan Thompson? Can we talk about him allowing a leadoff triple in this game and then stranding that man on third base? He went 1 1/3 innings pitched. Gave up 1 hit, no runs allowed, no walks, 2 strikeouts. The man has been filthy. The man has been filthy. He knows pro wrestling and he knows ball. He currently has a 0.84 ERA this season. And I mean, he has been the man for this team out of the bullpen. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about, what Ryan Thompson is. Piece of Yoshi in the chat says, imagine if we traded him last season, like some of y'all wanted, meaning Brandon Pfaadt. No, I can't imagine that at this point, because again, this would be another case where the Diamondbacks, if that was the way things went, would be sitting here watching Brandon Pfaadt absolutely shove for another franchise.
That would be the most classic Diamondbacks move of all time. It feels like, how many times have we given up on a young pitcher when he struggled through like 10, 15 starts, and we were like, no way this guy could get better at baseball.
And think about the fact of what we were potentially trading him for and what you saw those guys go and do after the trade deadline in 2023. Those would have been the starting pitchers. Most of them did not pitch well. Maybe history changes and the Diamondbacks trade him for Jordan Montgomery, and maybe we end up in, whatever. But you can't even say that because of the way that Brandon Pfaadt shoved for this team in the postseason. But I think that was the big question, and I feel like that question has been answered. What is Brandon Pfaadt going to become? Was that just like an adrenaline rush version of Brandon Pfaadt that went out there during the postseason and performed the way he did? Or was that the next evolution of Brandon Pfaadt? 5 consecutive quality starts for me, including this big win over the Dodgers, says to me that Brandon Pfaadt is for real. And what we saw out of him in the postseason last year is what we're seeing now. And it's been consistent, right? Like Damon says, who is not at all reactionary, who does not at all just say crazy things just in the moment, said that Brandon Pfaadt was, in fact, our best pitcher. And he might not be wrong about that. I know the numbers don't indicate it, but I feel like the one thing out of Brandon Pfaadt that you really can't get out of Jordan Montgomery or Zach Gallen is consistency, right? You know what you're getting out of Brandon Pfaadt every 3 days, and that's a chance to win. Whereas Zach Gallen has been erratic, especially on the road and in early games. That carries over to this year as well as last year. And we know Jordan Montgomery, he has been fairly good for this team, and he's been able to go deep for this team. But we still don't know, what the Diamondbacks are going to get, regularly out of him. Right now, I feel like we know what we get out of Brandon Pfaadt. And he's for real. He is, like Gabriel says, for real. That's how you have to spell it. That with a P at the beginning. He's for real. But who else is for real? Christian Walker. Sorry, Los Angeles Dodgers fans. The nightmare does not stop. He does not end. He does not go away.
He owns them.
He absolutely owns them. In fact, since 2019, Christian Walker's 19 total home runs are tied with Manny Machado for most homers against the Dodgers. Ski to you on that. Walker, single, double, triple Walker. He hits dingers, Christian Walker. He ranks first in RBI against the Dodgers with 47. Ahead of Machado's 45. So he is, in fact, not just Clayton Kershaw's daddy, but he might, in fact, be the Los Angeles Dodgers as a franchise. Might be their daddy overall. Of course, Ketel did extend his hitting streak to 20 games, and that's the big news here, is that Ketel has continued to do it, and we don't really know when he's going to stop at this point. But, of course, because he hits 20 games, we're going to go ahead and make Ketel Marte our king snake for this game, because 20 games might not be historic, but he's starting to venture into the neighborhood of history, especially for the Arizona Diamondbacks franchise. I believe 5 players in franchise history have had hitting streaks of 20 games or longer. So we already knew Ketel Marte was one of the best players in franchise history, but he does become the 5th Diamondback to ever record a 20-plus game hitting streak, joining Luis Gonzalez, who had a 30-game hitting streak, Paul Goldschmidt's 26-game hitting streak, Tony Womack's 24-game hitting streak, and Danny Batista's 21-game hitting streak in 2004. So he's right there. He has a chance to pass a couple of fairly big names in Diamondbacks history as far as hitters go. And I mean, again, we talked about Brandon Pfaadt carrying over what his performance, his high level of performance from the postseason into this season. Ketel Marte has just been ridiculous. The man made history last MLB postseason, and now here he is on the verge of just absolutely continuing to, just dominate and not, I mean, I guess not dominate, because a lot of these games are just one hit games, but man, the ability to be this good and this consistent at hitting a baseball is not easy. It's the reason why you don't see hitting streaks like this often. He currently does have the longest hitting streak in Major League Baseball and could wind up with the longest of the season. There's a lot of games left, but Ketel is incredible. But the Diamondbacks were incredible. Jock Peterson, of course, like I said, he broke this one open with a 3-run home run in the 7th that gave the Snakes a 4-run lead. And he did, in fact, record career RBIs number 499, 500, and 501 with that 3-run home run. Let's take a look at the count here presented by Desert Financial Credit Union. I just bring up Jock because honestly, when it came to King Snake tonight, there were a lot of good options for this team. The Diamondbacks got contributions from their offense all over the place, and it was just a good night overall for this team playing, they're essentially their big brother in the division. Jock goes 2 for 5 with 3 RBI.
Why are you doing that?
What's that?
Why are you doing that?
I shouldn't have done that.
What was the point?
I don't know. I'm a little disgruntled lately, and you know how it is. It's hot in this room.
Well, here, I'm going to put this off for a second, Derek. Let's talk about it. I was talking about it right at the end of the game. We need tomorrow's win, right?
We really do.
I'm buying back in if we win tomorrow. Beat the Dodgers, and all of a sudden we're 2 games below 500. I'm feeling pretty good about ourselves. Let's beat the damn Dodgers tomorrow. This is why not us?
Well, honestly, the way that they've played so far in these 2 games, the Diamondbacks they didn't look like they scraped by.
No.
And in fact, in yesterday's game, like I said,
I want a series win.
I know. Damon knows that. Damon backed me up. He tried to tell me afterwards it wasn't loser talk, but I get it. It's still loser talk when you say like, oh, if you take that 1 inning out, that game's different. But the Diamondbacks did a great job at holding the Dodgers scoreless outside of what happened there in the 3rd inning. And who knows whether Slade was actually tipping his pitches or not. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is he gave up 6 earned run in an inning, and it put the game out of reach for the Diamondbacks. Honestly, even when they were down 6-1, it felt like it was over, and they did a good job of coming back and at least making it competitive in that game. But this was a thorough victory. Outside of Ohtani, the Diamondbacks did a great job.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We're not anyone's little brother. We beat them in the playoffs last season, Derek, and they have one guy who's hitting the baseball against us right now.
Betts is 0 for 3 tonight. Freeman 0 for 4.
Who those guys? Who are they? I've never heard of them.
Yeah, tell them. Anyway, are you done scolding me now? Can we go back
let's go back to the count.
Okay, let's look at the numbers again. All right. Diamondbacks win this one by a score of 7-3. They out-hit the Dodgers 12-6. Runners in scoring position. Diamondbacks are 3 for 10. Dodgers 2 for 10. Diamondbacks had those big 2 home runs, one by Jock Peterson, of course, and the other one by Christian Dixon Walker. Hard hit percentage there, about a push, 36.4%. For the Dodgers, 34.8% for the Diamondbacks. So it was what it was. But, the Diamondbacks, again, even the runs scored by the Dodgers, it felt like they kind of had to do everything they could to manufacture those runs. So, again, Brandon Pfaadt just absolutely deserves tip of the cap for what he did against this Dodger team tonight. And, yeah, you're right. I mean, come on. The Diamondbacks, like right now, They're the big brother, right?
Who won in the biggest on the biggest stage last time?
Yeah, it's fair.
We did.
It's fair. You're right. All right. Well, of course, thank you again to Desert Financial for supporting those numbers, and thank you to you all, especially those of you that now want to credit Damon for being like some sort of hero. Don't pump him up any more than he needs to get. He's got a big head as it is, but of course. We thank you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss whenever our wonderful shows go live. Leave us a review. Drop us a like. Who's gonna stop by tonight to drop us a like, Damon? Is there anybody available to drop us a like? I know Gabby usually stops by. What do you got?
I think he had a pretty decent game tonight. So why doesn't Corbin Carroll tell us to leave a like?
He had a double tonight. Corbin Carroll had some pretty great defensive plays. And again, he's not lighting up the score box, right? Like we're not getting Corbin Carroll going out there and going 3 for 5 like we'd like to see him. And I think even seeing him do that once in a while would be encouraging, would be absolutely encouraging for this team. But, at least tonight, Corbin was able to contribute in a number of ways, and love it. Love it. Leave us a like. Of course, if you haven't subscribed yet on the audio podcasting side, do that as well. Of course, leave us a review. We always appreciate those 5-star reviews. They help us out a ton. Of course, if you want to make baseball more fun, one great way to do so is with the PHNX or with the BetMGM Sportsbook app, and you can sign up using our code of PHNX. And when you do, you can deposit $10 or more and place a bet at that amount. And should that bet lose, you will receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. If the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Of course, you can sign up now and get down on the Grand Slam Jackpot promotion, which, of course, is for every baseball fan out there. Every single weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can place a $10 or more wager on any player to hit a home run. Should that player hit a grand slam, you will win your share of their daily prize, which is $50,000. You can win the whole damn thing or just a share of it with every other winning bettor, depending on how many people nail their bet that day. So, of course, again, sign up right now for BetMGM. Use that bonus code of PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10. You will receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. That feels sad by myself.
It is sad.
It is.
I won money on BetMGM tonight, Derek.
I know you did. You want to tell them about it?
Well, I mean, just yesterday, I'm scrolling through the great app from the people at BetMGM, and I see, what is that? D-backs plus 200
for the money line
with our ace on the mound versus Michael Grove, and I said that's disrespectful. Tossed a little 20 piece on it. Feels good. Feels good to be us.
Imagine not betting on the Diamondbacks money line on the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Couldn't be us. But of course, I am celebrating the win with a Hop Knot IPA from our friends at Four Peaks. Of course, there is a wide variety of delicious beers from Four Peaks for you to celebrate wins like that, whether it's a Diamondbacks win or a life win for yourself. Make sure to celebrate with our friends from Four Peaks. Of course, right now you can get that Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale. You can get those variety 15 packs that I've been talking about. You can get them at your store, a local market, wherever you get your grocery store, wherever you get your stuff. You can also check out Four Peaks in person. You can get down with the Chicken Tendy gang and, of course, try their wonderful beers straight out of the tap. Visit fourpeaks.com/locator to find all your favorite beers and events. Check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks, and please drink responsibly. Of course, like I said, Jesse will be joining us here shortly from Dodger Stadium, but Seth Harper is absolutely right. Of course, if you're not a diehard member, you should become one, because when you become a diehard member, you get exclusive pictures of Jesse's sick RAV4, which he did, in fact, take with him on his road trip to Los Angeles. He also had a delightful conversation with Tori Lavello about best places to stop for gas in between here and Los Angeles on a road trip. So, of course, don't miss that. Also, we're bringing you a diehard-only mailbag tomorrow. Jesse and I will be finishing up our diehard questions for Monday, as well as getting some new questions from you diehards in our Discord chat. So, again, if you haven't signed up for the diehard membership yet, do so now. It pays for itself. You get yourself a free t-shirt of your choice from the locker. You get that diehard membership card. You get access to all of our premium written content, as well as an entrance to the Discord lounge with even more content. Like I said, we have exclusive videos. We're doing diehard only mailbags. We got our happy hours. Of course, Squeeze Play, our game show, is coming back. You also get discounts on all of our events and discounts with our partners. So make sure to sign up right now for a diehard membership.
Have you seen those Marvin Harrison Jr. shirts, Derek?
The Marvin Harrison Jr. shirts are fire.
I mean, so
we have a whole collection.
If you sign up for a diehard membership, you're basically, half of that is going towards your free shirt that you're getting. So it basically almost pays for itself right there. Then you get it the rest of the year. and you get to pick one of those MHJ membership
Meanwhile,
shirts.
am I wrong? But meanwhile, while we're producing Marvin Harrison Jr. Clothing that's not actually Marvin Harrison Jr. Clothing, Fanatics is suing him. Is that right?
This is true.
Is that what's going on over breach of contract for him not allowing them
We
to
would
sell
never.
his jersey? We would absolutely fucking never.
Our
We would
sweet
never.
baby Marvin.
Our sweet baby Marvin, who we held the line for. We're going to turn around and sue him after holding the line? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not our sweet baby Marvin. So, of course, make sure to go over and check out all of the wonderful shirts we have at phnxlocker.com. This Defend the Pool shirt, pretty sick. We got some baseball shirts. Not sure if you were aware. We also have our upcoming pool party on July 31st at Chase Field. So that's another.
Ever heard of it?
Have you heard of it? Are you familiar with it? You know what's wild about that? Speaking of which, we're going to be taking a little road trip to the All-Star game. And then we might just be heading out on the road to follow the Arizona Diamondbacks to Chicago for a little 3-game set at beautiful and historic Wrigley Field. And then we just pop back here in time for a pool party, right? I don't know. What is life? I don't know what life is sometimes. But, of course, I also feel that way after watching the Arizona Diamondbacks win over the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Of course, things are going well for this team right now. Things are definitely bright for the future of this organization as well. If we head down to the farm, we do have some updates from the minor league system that hopefully some of you guys will enjoy very much. Davison De Los Santos has been promoted to AAA Reno, which of course we all knew that he deserved that. We all knew that it was coming because he hit 372, 426, 696 with a 1.122 OPS for the Amarillo Sod Poodles. He had 14 home runs and 37 RBI. The man has been incredible since returning to this team after being picked up by the Cleveland Guardians in the Rule 5 draft. So it's very cool to see him coming back here and performing the way he has been, hitting the way he has been. And now he's going to get a chance to go up to AAA Reno. There's a very real possibility that within the next 12 months, we're going to see Davison De Los Santos potentially on the Arizona Diamondbacks Major League squad. And what a story that is in regards to him going from nearly being gone from the organization to now. Again, not the top prospect, not a top prospect, but a very, very good prospect in the Diamondbacks organization who has really turned things around. Of course, speaking of turning things around, it would be crazy for us to not talk about what Drew Jones has been doing or did on May 17th. He got his first 4-hit game of his career, and man, the kid has really turned it around. I think we have video of his home run from that game. Let's take a look at Drew Jones going yard here.
To 21 straight games, and now Jones lifts this one into left field, going back towards the warning track, and that ball is gone! See you later! A 2-run home run from Drew Jones, his second of the year, and the Rawhide cut the lead in half. It's now 4-2. A no-doubter for Drew Jones.
Man, I mean, again, we need something to look forward to. I was just saying this. Me as an adult man, I need a vacation to look forward to, and especially when things aren't going great with the Major League club, we want to hear some good things, from down on the farm, just to feel like we have something to look forward to. And right now, Drew Jones went from possibly looking like a bust to, here he is currently hitting 270 with a 781 OPS. I mean, it's not lighting the world on fire yet, but he's definitely been moving in the right direction over the last month. Damon, what do you think?
Yeah, it's certainly nice to see. I mean, he started off the season so bad, it was almost like eye-opening. Like, did we lose Drew Jones here? Is he just no longer really a valuable piece going forward? Does he have any trade value, anything like that? But hopefully, that was just a slump. Seems to be playing a little bit better. And I think that they factor him into the future. You'd have to think, because as of right now, his value is probably at its lowest point in terms of trade value. Like, you're probably not getting.
Oh yeah, you're not even considering that at this point.
So I'd say that you're planning on having him with the organization for a while, and this is the kind of stuff that you need to see out of him, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Zach Zent in the comments says, talk about Chaparro, 23 walks in 45 games and batting 326. I was going to say 236. No, my man, you are absolutely right. Absolutely. Right now, he's actually batting what we got. I have 333, 420, 571 with a 991 OPS for the Reno Aces. I think what you zoned in on there is right. He had definitely the 23 walks to 36 strikeouts. It's been good. He's been good for Reno Aces. You don't really know.
Does he strike you as kind of a 4A player?
He could be. I think the problem once again, and again, he's somebody that just came into the organization, so we're not really familiar with him in the same way that we're familiar with other guys. But the problem with Reno is, once again, the offense from any player can look very, very good in Reno, even for a sustained period of time. It's not just a fluke. It's not just, it's not just a good month. You can definitely tell that Reno is a place to get right. That's the one benefit to maybe sending someone like Corbin Carroll down, despite how much the organization is opposed to that. Sometimes it's nice just to get right. And when you get right in Reno, sometimes it carries over at a major league level. But Chaparro has been very good for this team. And of course, Diamondbacks need it. They need some guys in the organization because we had a lot to look forward to, it felt like. And now a lot of those pieces have come up. They've made their major league debuts. Some of them have stuck around. Some of them have not. Gabriel Ferreira in the chat says, Drew is only 20 years old. I was working at Jimmy John's at that age. He's fine. I don't even want to discuss what I was doing at 20 years old. Actually, you know what? I think this is where I say that I took an interview at an animal hospital, and upon my interview, which I had gone in to be a kennel person, I was interviewing to be a kennel person, Damon, which was a person that like cleans the kennels and walks the dogs.
It's a very glamorous job.
It seemed like I like dogs. It seemed like a good gig, like it wasn't bad. And the guy took one look at me who was hiring me. He was the office manager, and he said, would you like to clean shit out of cages, or would you rather help the doctors in surgery? And I said, yeah, choice B kind of does sound better right about now. And he said, I knew you were smart. And that's how I started my medical career, I guess you could say, in the veterinary field. But it's also what led me to meet my wife. So it wasn't a bad decision. I will say, though, that, of course, you're right. At 20 years old, a lot of us weren't doing the things that Drew Jones is doing. Wasn't on the career trajectory that he is for
Very
his
fair.
career, right? So Mustachio Mike.
Yeah, this is a crazy.
Says, Derek, what happened to the beard? From a guy named Mustachio Mike.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Wild, Damon.
It seems like he should be supporting and propping up the mustache more than almost anyone.
I would think that the mustache agenda would be strong with Mustachio Mike. This might secretly be my friend Jared, who also asked me this same question tonight. Jared looked at me right in the face and just said, how long are you doing the mustache thing for? Like, when is this going away? And I don't know what to tell you guys. It might be permanent. Look at that handsome devil back there. Are you kidding me? Oh man. Of course, a lot of fun youngsters to talk about when it comes to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Of course, I'm losing where I'm at, but the Diamondbacks actually had one of their pitchers named as the PCL Pitcher of the Week. Chris Ellis for the Reno Aces was announced by Minor League Baseball as the PCL Pitcher of the Week. So he had himself a great outing. He went out there and limited his opponents to 1 earned run on 3 hits, 1 walk, while striking out a season high 7 in 7 innings pitched. So again, we have a lot of good things happening in the organization down the farm. Right now, Diamondbacks just need it. They absolutely need something here. And they might call upon some of these guys. I know that was one of our Mailbag Monday questions. And of course, when you look at what Blake Walston and Christian Mena is doing, which those guys were specifically the subject of the discussion, you can't help but wonder if the Diamondbacks might be willing to possibly take a look at those guys after Slade's last start and after, whatever happens with Ryan Nelson tomorrow in the series finale against the Dodgers. I don't know what to expect out of that. And I don't want to I don't want to be all gloom and doom just yet, but Ryan Nelson really doesn't have many opportunities left, so hopefully he steps up big for this team because they absolutely need him. They right now are getting closer and closer to having Eduardo Rodriguez return to the lineup and really give them at least that one, hopefully that one solid additional starter, and allow them to possibly bounce back and forth between Ryan and Slade, depending on the direction that the front office and Torrey decide to go, there in regards to the starting rotation. It's just Diamondbacks need it. Tomorrow is the finale against these Dodgers, and they could really use a big outing here from Ryan Nelson. Of course, right now we want to thank you guys, of course, for being here. Want to also thank Circle K, of course, for sponsoring this wonderful studio that I'm in. These snacks, by the way, behind me, I'll go this way. Those aren't fake snacks. That's not stage snacks. These are real, actual, delicious Circle K snacks that I get access to all the time. And depleting this little thing behind me is kind of a problem around here because we are down with the Circle K snacks, and you should not sleep on them either. Forget the national brands. Circle K snacks, they're fresher. They're cheaper.
Certainly cheaper.
They're better and cheaper. Like that's
why wouldn't you buy them?
I mean, what more do I need? They're better and cheaper, right? They're better and cheaper. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Sometimes that's the way it goes. Like sometimes the store brand is the better brand. And in Circle K's case, that's pretty much everything they make that you see behind me. Of course, you can also save big on gas right now by joining the Inner Circle program for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. But when you do, you will save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Now, that's a lot of money that you can save right now with how expensive gas is. You also save 3 cents off per gallon every day after that. If you're a premium member, you save 5 cents off per gallon, like our man Damon Dog over here, who never fails to save himself some money. You can also stack that with the Easy Pay option. So there's another additional 10 cents that comes off of the top of it. And you get all sorts of wonderful coupons in the app, including pizza, coffee, and ice cold fountain drinks. So make sure to fill yourself up, fill your car up over at Circle K.
You're a crazy person if you don't join the Inner Circle. It's literally free money.
It's free money. It's free snacks. It's free drinks. It's free lots of stuff.
Oh, you don't like cheap gas?
Like
okay.
I thought I could, because we read this ad, right? I thought it was going to be like a punch card thing where it was always just the buy 5, get 6. No, I just open it up some days and they're like, have a free Red Bull on us. Just free. Here, you want
100%, especially if you become
a free roller item,
a premium member.
Yeah, get down on it. If you shop at Circle K, you need to be a premium member. And if you just are a person that exists here in the state of Arizona, you should already be an Inner Circle member. So do it right now for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Of course, I have talked a lot about Desert Financial Credit Union getting me started on my home ownership journey. But my God, the amount of the prices of homes have just skyrocketed. I saw a breakdown the other day, one of those TikTok videos of like buying a home 5 years ago versus buying a home now.
You probably feel like you're stealing.
Oh, I am absolutely living for basically free thanks to Desert
You're kind
Financial.
of like a thief. Like you're a
they signed it. I signed
You're
it.
a bad guy for getting your mortgage when you did.
They offered the deal up to me. In fact, they were the ones that had me put pen to paper here. But of course, that was how Desert Financial got me started on my home ownership journey. I'm so glad they did. Of course, for more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union. And they've been dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and their members. So, of course, join them today and look to a credit union that is committed to not only giving back to you, but sharing success with its members and providing financial solutions that make your life better. I won't lie, not everybody has your best interest in mind. So, of course, you got to look to a financial institution that does, in fact, have your best interest in mind. Of course, make sure join us soon. Right now, sorry, I'm getting information from you guys in the chat. Jesse's messaging me. Everything's taking a very long time. So I got thrown off there a little bit. But right now, go open a checking account at Desert Financial Credit Union online. When you do, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. Yes, Pedro in the chat is giving us an update from our very own Jesse Friedman. And he says, Jesse tweeted Ryan won't start tomorrow. That is absolutely what is happening right now. Jesse said that Torey Lovullo was delayed in the clubhouse and in the post game due to the fact that there's some sort of move. It sounds like it's a roster move. So what we were just talking about might indicate that we are. Let me see what we got from Jesse Friedman. I wouldn't be surprised. Would you be surprised to see Ryan Nelson not get the start tomorrow?
So Jesse, you want me to read his tweet?
Yeah, that would be great.
He said, "It sounds like Ryan Nelson will not start on Wednesday for the Diamondbacks. Manager Torey Lovullo said that roster movement is coming and suggested the possibility of an opener, although nothing is official yet."
2 openers in this series. Essentially.
Wild,
right? Do they have the bullpen for that? And do they have the bullpen to rebound?
Can Tommy not come up and start? I thought that they were kind of aligned, Tommy and Ryan, on their schedules so that it worked out well for one of them to be called up.
That is true. That is true. Jesse brought that up because Tommy Henry is on the same schedule right now as Ryan Nelson. It's just interesting, right? Like Ryan Nelson, obviously, that last start was enough. I wonder if this was more to take the Dodgers, like to catch them off guard, making this last minute change, or if something actually happened that would cause them to change their decision, right?
It does feel like a bit of gamesmanship there.
Well, and especially when it comes to potentially going with a bullpen game, right? That it could very much be a weakness for the Dodgers if the Diamondbacks can somehow pull it off. I just don't really know how that's going to impact the team going forward, should that be the case. I mean, their bullpen right now has already been fairly used through this series. I mean, so far they did get some, pretty good length that gives them some time, but they have a series here, so they have a travel day on Thursday coming back here to Arizona, and then they start their series with the Marlins. So it is the Marlins, and then they have another off day on Monday before they start a series with the Rangers, which is just a 2-game series next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So I don't know. There could be maybe some maneuvers made based on the fact that they do have 2 off days coming up over the next 7 days. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that does make a little bit of sense. The bullpen's going to get a rest tomorrow. Ginkel didn't go tonight, right?
Ginkel did not go tonight.
We have him available. A lot of our more back-end arms haven't pitched really in this series because, like you said, Slade gave them some good length in game 1.
I mean, we still have, I guess, Justin Martinez could still go. But I don't know. Ginkel, yeah.
I feel it'd be kind of weird if they could pull up Tommy Henry and they didn't, wouldn't it? Like if they actively chose not to, and that would be kind of telling, I feel like, in a sense as well. Like,
well,
they have the opportunity to pull up Tommy, his schedule fits out, and they're like, yeah, we'd prefer to run with the bullpen for a game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Mantiply probably wouldn't be available based on his usage. I don't know if Ryan Thompson would be available based on his usage, but Paul Sewald most likely would be available. Logan Allen, Matt Bowman, Ginkel, Jarvis possibly for an inning, maybe not for the length that Jarvis typically gives them. But I mean, between Logan Allen and Bryce Jarvis, I think you could eat up 6 innings right there. I mean, those guys, that's what they do, right? But let's see. Piece of Yoshi says Jarvis and someone else succeeded Slade. Yes, I can't think of who.
He said everyone other than Mantiply should be available.
I don't
hypothetically.
Think so. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that Ryan Thompson would be available based on, like I said, on his usage. But it's going to be interesting to see the moves that they make and how they can adapt to the situation. It does make sense to try to outmanage the Dodgers here. I mean, the one thing that the Dodgers probably can't really game plan for is the inconsistency of a bullpen game. And this is an important win for them. I mean, they do have some winnable games up ahead. The Rangers aren't playing great baseball right now, so the Diamondbacks could jump all over them. They have the Mets after that, and then a series with the Giants, series with the Padres. Then they have the Angels and the White Sox and the Nationals. So there's a lot of there's some good teams, then there's some bad teams, and there's a couple of decent teams, especially division rivals, and an important series there against the Giants and the Padres. And then some more bad teams, and then the Phillies. So again, I don't know. I don't know
Or
what the Diamondbacks
Suns.
are going to do.
We own
tomorrow.
the Phillies.
Our
I'm not worried
Suns.
about the Phillies.
Yeah, well, that's another team. They've been playing good baseball, but it's been against bad teams. So the Diamondbacks definitely have some bad teams here coming out.
Haven't the Phillies played like 3 winning teams all season or something like that?
That was the stat that Jesse gave us when I can't imagine that's still the case when it comes to the Phillies.
That was as of like 5 days ago.
I mean, here, I'll take a look at the standings really fast. It'll tell me right now when it comes to the Phillies. Yeah, the Phillies, your Philadelphia Phillies are 1-2 against teams with a 500 or above 500.
How is that
record.
possible this far into the season?
I don't know. It's May 21st.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's May 21st.
They play in a division with the Braves.
The reason why, if I'm being honest, is because every team in the division outside of the Braves is below 500. Nationals are 21-26, Mets 21-27, Marlins 16-34. Right now in the NL West, I mean, every team is below 500 except the Dodgers. Padres 25-26, your Diamondbacks 23-26, Giants 23-26, and then the Rockies 15-32. So I don't know. I guess maybe we shouldn't be throwing stones. Diamondbacks, let's see what Diamondbacks record is 6-14 against teams with an above 500. They played 20 games against teams with a record of 500 or better. Above 500. Actually, that's above 500. That's about 500 better. That's above 500. Meanwhile, the Phillies, three games. Just 3 games. 3 games. I hate it. I hate it here.
How many did we have?
20. We've played 20 games against teams with a record over 500. Sick. It is. It's really sick. You know what was sick, though? I want to circle back to this. Brandon Pfaadt was sick tonight, and Brandon Pfaadt continues to be sick for this team. And again, things when you want to talk about how I, as an Arizona Diamondback fan, can be encouraged. What drives me here? It's the fact that a win like tonight can completely change the way that you look at the season, if you will. They're able to hang with a team like the Dodgers. They're able to beat the Dodgers. If they can somehow come out and manufacture a win with the bullpen game tomorrow and win the series, things look much different. Hopefully, the outlook is much better, especially considering that 4 of their starters are returning before the All-Star break. And when the Diamondbacks get each one of those guys back, we get a little bit of a spark. Perdomo should be soon. Erod should be soon. Still waiting on an update on Alek Thomas. And of course, we know that Merrill Kelly, I don't think he's even begun a throwing program, but hopefully Merrill Kelly is going to be back with this team before the All-Star break. A complete Arizona Diamondbacks team and a connected Arizona Diamondbacks team is a very, very dangerous Arizona Diamondbacks team. And really, that's the one thing we haven't seen this year. So the fact that the Diamondbacks are 23-26 and they're at least hovering around 500 and floating and trying their best to stay afloat with all of these injuries that they've had, it's encouraging. Now, you get a night like tonight, you got Lourdes Gurriel, who honestly we have picked on during his slump, but Ketel Marte or Lourdes Gurriel has really been good as of lately himself. So, I mean, once the Diamondbacks have a couple of these guys that have been struggling, get it back right, and they have to get back right. Like, they're professional baseball players who are good at the sport. I cannot believe, I refuse to believe that Corbin Carroll and Lourdes and Gabby are going to continue to be as bad at the plate as they've been all season. I think we've already seen them taking some pretty encouraging steps in the right direction. It's just slow, especially with Corbin. It feels like every time we start to feel like things are moving in the right direction, he goes 0 for 4 over the course of 4 days. So don't really know what at times, how to be encouraged by Corbin, but tonight was good. He had a double. Again, some great defensive plays.
I liked what I saw from Corbin tonight, and I've been very critical of Corbin this season.
You have been possibly the most critical.
Because he's our best player, in my opinion, and I don't think he's been good enough. Well, certainly
your text messages that you send me do not agree with your
certainly
thought
last
process.
season he was our best player, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
I mean,
overall,
Ketel has obviously been the best player this season, not taking that away from him, but I think that we expect Corbin Carroll to be at a level playing where he is our best player. Maybe we've lost that a little bit, but we went into the season expecting that from him.
Yeah, you're right.
He hit the ball hard tonight. Rojas made a good catch in left field. on another hard hit ball that he had that double. He made 2 nice defensive plays. Like I thought he had a good game tonight, and hopefully he builds off that.
Piece of Yoshi makes a great point. He says, especially when Kevin Newman has his piping. Ever since I screamed at Fanatics about forgetting Kevin Newman's piping, the man's been on fire. I'm just saying. I think that me stepping up and defending him showed him, encouraged him, made him feel loved, made him feel respected. The respect that he should have felt from his, uniform designer for putting the piping on there. You can't leave the piping off. The piping's important. We do have some video now from the clubhouse. We got Christian Walker, I imagine, talking a little bit about his dinger and the success that he's had. I'm taking a swing in the dark with this because I don't know. But what do you know what we got, Damon?
Yeah, we do. We do have sound from Christian Walker, but it's actually all about Jock Peterson.
Oh, even better. Let's hear it. What do we got?
I think he's fit in great. His kind of low maintenance, fun. Anything can happen kind of mentality. I think is good for this clubhouse. We got a lot of guys in here who take it very seriously. Me included. Him and Gino have been great for me to kind of loosen things up and just remember that it's a game and it's fun and not to take it too seriously. But having having his veteran presence, but then 2 his professional approach to the game and knowing when to take things seriously and knowing when to laugh things off. It's been important.
Jock Peterson strikes me as the kind of guy that doesn't take a lot of things too seriously in life, and I can relate to that. I think I was having a conversation with Damon before this show started about how I don't really know how to adult. I don't want to be the guy that's a full-grown adult that other younger people are laughing at for the fact that they can see me literally trying to clinch on to my youth of some kind, like grab onto it with my hat backwards and my, e-scooter
your
and the
skateboard
whole bit.
over
My
your
skateboard. And
hello, fellow kids.
How are you doing, fellow students? That bit, right? But sometimes guys like me and Jock, we just walk to the beat of our own drum. What can we say? And Jock, of course, we've seen that all year long, but what we've also seen from Jock has him continue to be an excellent hitter for this team. And I say hitter because he's not just a slugger. He's not just a DH. We've seen him take some incredible at-bats. We've seen him, in some dogfights out there, working the count. We've seen him take a lot of walks, and we've seen him be very patient at the plate. The man has a 321 average right now with a 989 OPS and is honestly the best hitter on this team. No disrespect to Ketel Marte, who has his 20-game hit streak, but Jock has been able to really be the designated hitter that the Diamondbacks were looking for. And according to Christian Walker, it goes beyond that, extends beyond that to, again, this is why Jesse and I argue about StatCast data. That guy might open up StatCast and think like, oh, it's Christmas morning. Some people take this shit way too seriously. And sometimes you need to be reminded that you're just playing a game where you're hitting a ball with a stick and it should be fun and you should be having a good time. I think that is entirely the problem with this team at times. I think the fact that they get too wound up, that they get too tight over playing this fun sport.
Well, clearly that's what's happening with Corbin, I think.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
he looks miserable out there, does he not?
Yeah.
At least there were times early on in the season, even when he was struggling, where he was still smiling and having a good time. I don't see that out of him, right?
Yeah, I think most of the guys actually, have a pretty good level-headed look on it, but Corbin seems like when he's letting the team down, he really feels it every single time.
Yeah, well, who else feels it is apparently Christian Walker, because he still has more to say on his teammate Jock Peterson.
Doesn't need a lot. Doesn't need a lot to get ready to play. It's like a few swings in the cage, not a lot of BP, not a lot of grindy sessions. I've heard him say things like, the more you hit, the harder it seems. So little things like that. I think there's value in those things, and you don't accidentally get the service time and the success in this league that he has. So I think it's on purpose for sure.
Do some of you guys get jealous that you can go up there with maybe a little bit less than what some of you guys have to do?
No. It's honestly, I think we could learn from it a little bit. I know I get lost in the reps sometime, and I think he's right. It's a good perspective to understand what we're up against every day.
I think Jock Peterson, when we talk about the loss of the veteran leadership, Jock Peterson can be that for this team, but I also think that Jock just might be the kind of personality who's reluctant to be a leader. It's not to say he doesn't want to share his wisdom with his teammates and help them out with his experience, because his experience and the amount of playoff games he's been through and seasons he's been through and injuries and everything that he's been through is great information to share. It's great data to share with his teammates, but he also just strikes me as the kind of guy that doesn't necessarily want that leadership role in the same way that someone like Evan Longoria picked it up last year, right? I'm not sure if Tommy Pham was ever the leader necessarily, but I felt like Tommy Pham brought not only a certain chip on his shoulder and passed that off to his teammates and taught them how to kind of embrace that in a way that made them better baseball players, but I felt like his experience and his wisdom helped his team out tremendously. Jock is that guy. He is that guru, but he's just like a guru can be sometimes. He's a little bit quirky, and sometimes he might not be that same conventional type of leader in your clubhouse that that a veteran typically is. But I will also say Jock has the amount of information Jock has is invaluable, and that's why you have a guy in your clubhouse like that. However, that's usually the talk for like an older guy that's not contributing, right? That's what you say about an Evan Longoria when he's hitting like 230, but still bringing a lot defensively to the team and maybe to the clubhouse. Right now, Jock is not only bringing that wisdom and sharing it with his teammates, but he's doing it while fucking hitting 321 with a 989 OPS. So the man is doing it, and honestly,
all he does is walk and crush the baseball.
We're not going to fucking talk about it nearly enough. And I'm sure Major League Baseball, I'm sure the other pundits out there are scared to say it, terrified to say it. But Jock Peterson, at the end of the day, might end up being the best free agent acquisition of this past offseason. Might be. I don't know.
For a really cheap contract.
For a contract that we thought, like, wow, based on that amount of money, we could have gotten guy X, Y, or Z, right? Look at what JD got. Look at what these other players that we wanted more as a DH got. But Jock Peterson right now outperforming, I think, all of those guys. I'm not sure. I'm not good at verifying information. That's why I have Jesse here. Jesse usually verifies my facts and backs me up. Or this is when he would say, well, actually, no, so-and-so's hitting better. But he's not here for that now. We don't even know where Jesse is. Jesse might be dead for all I know. I don't know, Damon. I'm terrified.
Jesse said he's on his way.
Oh, there he is. As soon as I suggest he might be dead, Jesse's popping up in the show.
Speak of the devil, man.
Speak of the devil, and he appears. Well, of course, joining us now from Dodger Stadium, almost an hour after I've been sitting here talking, is the one and only Jesse Friedman. Jesse, this is not on the record. Let's bring in Jesse. Let's get Jesse in here. Can we get him in here? All right. Jesse, big win for the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight. Where is he? There he is. There is the thunder stick.
We're not ready for Jesse the second he calls in, Derek.
I don't care.
You got to give it a second.
Here now. I don't care. No, that's bullshit. Get him in here.
You don't seem too happy with me, Derek. I feel like you're blaming this situation on me.
What is happening? What? I'm just supposed to sit here and talk for 56 minutes? Do you think anybody wants that? Nobody wants that, Jesse. But no, big win for the Diamondbacks, obviously, and we know that there is some moves happening in regards to tomorrow's game. So I guess let's start with that. What is happening in regards to Ryan Nelson starting for the Diamondbacks tomorrow against the Dodgers?
Yeah, well, first of all, I have to speak in my own defense that my tardiness today, blame Torey Lovullo. Don't blame yours truly, because Torey Lovullo did not address the media until 45 minutes or so after this game ended, which was really something. But yes, of course, we all suspected, like, okay, if it's taking this long, clearly there's some sort of roster moves happening behind the scenes. And Torey gave a bit of an odd answer after this one when asked about that. He did confirm that roster movement is coming. I don't know if that's multiple players coming in or just one player. He was asked if the starter for tomorrow is going to change, and he said possibly, and that if it did, it would be an opener, which sounds to me like Torey Lovullo's way of saying that tomorrow is going to be an opener instead of Ryan Nelson making the start. I guess that still leaves open the possibility that Ryan Nelson could pitch in the game. Just not just sort of Slade Ciccone style where he comes in out of the bullpen. Maybe Logan Allen starts. You'd think they'd want a lefty to start against the Dodgers as the opener, given the lefties that they have at the top of the lineup. So we didn't get a ton of answers there, but it's clear that something is happening, and it seems pretty unlikely that Ryan Nelson actually makes that start.
Do you suspect that this is something that changed suddenly, or do you think that this is perhaps maybe a little bit of gamesmanship, as we were discussing earlier, to try to catch the Dodgers off guard?
Yeah, I mean, if you were going to not have Ryan Nelson make his next start, normally you would do it by just sending him out immediately after the last one, right? Which is, of course, not what's happened here. Ryan Nelson has been with the Major League team this entire time. And when Torey was asked on Friday, after Ryan Nelson really struggled in that game against the Tigers, are you guys committed to having Nelson make his next start? Torey didn't bat an eye and said, yeah, we haven't even had a discussion about that. So, yeah, I'm inclined to think that the Diamondbacks, at least for a time, planned on having Ryan Nelson make this start. And I wonder if the fact that certain relievers, maybe Logan Allen in particular, have not been used much recently, if that opened the door for them to go a different route. So maybe it was kind of a wait and see thing where they were going to keep Ryan Nelson up here in case the bullpen was gassed maybe, and they really did need him to make a usual start. But given that they've gotten some length from their starters recently, they still got 5 innings from Slade yesterday, even though things didn't go too well. They got 6 innings from Pfaadt, of course, today. Maybe that opened the door for them to go a different direction.
Well, one guy who has been helping them out when it comes to saving their bullpen and giving them some longevity has been Brandon Pfaadt. He makes his 5th consecutive quality start for the Diamondbacks tonight, and he looked good, Jesse. The swings and misses were there. Everything was rolling for Brandon, including holding the Dodgers hit list through the first 3 innings.
Brandon Pfaadt appears to be pretty good at baseball, Derek. I don't know if this is just a nice run that Brandon Pfaadt has gone on. This feels like he's really starting to kind of figure out how to turn over a lineup, not just a couple of times, but to get through a lineup like 3 times, which is something that we didn't see a ton from him last season. He, of course, is being given a bit of a longer leash this year, and rightfully so. Brandon Pfaadt came into this start averaging 6 innings per start. He still averages 6 innings per start because that's what he gave the D-backs today. And yeah, this just feels like kind of the next phase in his development. You look at his last 7 starts, I think he's at a 3.12 ERA, a 0.97 whip. In that span, it's been a lot of strikeouts, very few walks. We saw that again today with 7 Ks compared to just 1 walk. And that 1 walk, of course, was the very first batter of the game, oddly enough. But yeah, he was really, really good today. And obviously this is different than doing it against the Reds. Like, this is one of the best offensive teams in the league.
Brandon Pfaadt had more to say after the game in regards to his start and what he was able to do against the Dodgers. What did we have from Brandon here?
Yeah, this is Brandon, just sort of his initial comments about the game as a whole and kind of how he contributed.
I think everybody set the tone. The offense certainly did, coming out hot in a much-needed game, and especially after last night. And getting the win today would be huge to get the series win tomorrow.
25 pitch first inning, but then that second was 8 pitches. What was the difference, do you think?
Yeah, I think I had some adrenaline going in the first inning, kind of throwing pitches all over the place, but we were able to settle in nicely in the second. From there, make some good pitches and work through the lineup pretty well.
What was
Groundhog Mama with an understatement when she says Brandon Pfaadt is good at baseball. Thib Knob says man's cheeks are bright, just like he came in from playing at a hockey game in Minnesota snow. It's what he always looks like. I love it. But yeah, we talked a little bit, Jesse, about Brandon Pfaadt and the fact that I guess the wait and see here with him was that postseason a fluke? Was he just running on an incredible stretch there, kind of high on adrenaline and kind of, I guess, using it to his advantage. But, what we've seen out of him this year has been consistency. We've seen whiffs. We've seen swing and miss stuff. He had 9 whiffs tonight. And I mean, just doing it regularly. Like, he doesn't really go out there and, throw almost, no hitters, even though he had that through 3 innings tonight, right? But like he goes out there, he gets the job done, he puts up a couple of runs. A lot of times you might be impressed a little bit by the stuff, but he just kind of works and has been effective this season.
He really has. Yeah. I mean, it just feels like the arsenal has really come together for him. The sweeper was pretty much there from day one. Like, we saw that pretty early on last year, how effective that pitch could be. But the sinker has been just enormous for him, the way that he's able to drop the sinker, really backdoor or front door. It has a lot of horizontal movement. I think today it averaged 17 inches, 16, 17 inches, which is a lot of horizontal movement. And this is a pitch that he just picked up like the middle of last year. When he was first called up to the Diamondbacks last season, Brandon Pfaadt did not throw a sinker. He threw a 4-seam fastball. He didn't have any other fastballs in his arsenal. But I think it was like his second stint back down in AAA. He added a sinker, and it has become such an enormous weapon for him. The curveball, I think he threw one today. That's still not a huge pitch, but he can use it to still strike one every now and then. And the changeup has evolved just enough to be a really useful weapon against lefties as well. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not quite ace level stuff, but it's a mix that really seems to work well. And he just doesn't really walk guys, right? Like, outside of that leadoff walk to Mookie Betts, which he actually started 0-2, wound up walking him after that, couldn't get Mookie to chase. But he pounds the zone, and his arsenal works really well.
That walk was the only walk allowed tonight by any Diamondbacks pitcher, by the way, which, again, that's huge. That's huge to keep those Dodgers off the base path. I think that's a team that people are typically careful with, and that they can be patient and they can get their fair share of walks. But Diamondbacks did a great job tonight of keeping those free runners off the base path. Of course, Brandon Pfaadt, we know what we've talked about. We know the Strom call and the mad scientist stuff and all of that. But what we've really seen has been Brandon Pfaadt take that coaching, take that advice, and like you say, like, put everything together. Really just figure it out with the arsenal, the side of the rubber he's pitching from, especially what seems to be a very deceptive arm slot where you not only does he have that arsenal, but you really don't know what he's throwing at times because it's very hard to pick it up. His pitch tunneling is great. Everything's been good. And I feel like a lot of that has just been the fact that he is such a coachable player and also a very, very calm guy. He is not rattled easily, especially in big moments like a game like this against the Dodgers.
That might be what stands out the most about Brandon Pfaadt. I mean, like, the number of hurdles that the guy has overcome in kind of a macro sense. Like, he was not a particularly high draft pick. He was one of the last picks in the shortened 2020 draft. Not exactly from a big time school at Bellarmine. It was D2 at the time when he was there. Came over to the D-backs organization and just pretty much shoved at every level. And go Knights, there you go. And then he gets to the majors, and like, oh God, it was not good. Like, it was really bad for a while. Yeah. But he just does not really seem fazed by any of that. He knows how to overcome adversity. He's done it time and time again. And you put him in a big spot, like you put him in the playoffs, you put him in NLCS Game 3, down 2-0 to a really good Phillies lineup. You put him out there here at Dodger Stadium, a really tough place to pitch against a really good team. He's still able to come through, even after the first batter of the game walks, or the inning where Ohtani led off with a double. He did wind up scoring because of a sort of bizarre play from Gabby Moreno. But he retired the next 3 hitters. Like that was it. That was all that the Dodgers could get there. He just continues time and time again to overcome adversity and come up big in some of these big moments.
Well, we have more from Brandon here after the game about the changes he made from last year to this year and the success he's had due to them.
Just sticking to the process, as cliche as it sounds, but we had some ups and downs, but taking those downs and learning from them and getting better and trying to just keep building that ladder and trying to get better and better. And you might fail at times, but you can take those. Sometimes those are the blessing in disguise games that help you later on.
Damon had a question for you. Damon, what do you got for Jesse?
No, let's get to it after it. Let's talk about Brandon Pfaadt for a second.
Oh, okay,
here.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, again, Pfaadt's, the stuff does sound cliche, right? It does. We've talked about it a lot on this show to the point like it's almost an inside joke. But I mean, the key there has been the fact that Brent Strom continues to see things about Brandon's game that he can expand on. Brandon's been able to take that coaching and actually put it into the work and figure out a way to make it all make him more successful. And I mean, he's much better now, I think, than a lot of us anticipated he was going to be.
Yeah, you never really know how, like, even if you were a big believer in Brandon Pfaadt when he came up last year, and apologies to some of the war scene behind me is developing yet again.
The work at Dodger Stadium is never done, Jesse. There are trays to smash together apparently, and parts of the field to fix.
Pans and pots to hit
Pans
with
and
wooden
pots.
spoons.
It's like, are they just walking around with pans and then spoons hitting them? What's going on behind you?
I don't know if it's behind me or in front of me. I just know that it's really loud. It just feels like there's noise like everywhere. Yeah, I don't really remember what the question was. I know we're talking about Brandon Pfaadt. Now I remember what I was saying. You never really know with young pitchers, even if you really believe in them that it's going to work out eventually, how quickly are they going to make that change? The difference between AAA and the majors has never been as big as it is right now. And so it sometimes it can take a while for guys to kind of make those adjustments and find success at this level. Brandon Pfaadt has made adjustment after adjustment and just continues to get better. And boy, is he big. I mean, let's face it, like Brandon Pfaadt is the Diamondbacks' second best starter right now, right? Like Jordan Montgomery, you still feel probably optimistic he can turn things around, but he has an ERA of just around 5. And of course, Slade and Ryan Nelson have had their struggles as well. It really is Zach Gallen and Brandon Pfaadt kind of anchoring this rotation right now in terms of keeping runs off the board. And that's huge for Pfaadt to be doing that at this stage in his career.
Just eating a ton of innings too, Brandon Pfaadt.
Yeah, he has been.
Even when he gives up early runs, like he still manages to get 5-6 in every single time that he goes out there.
That's that 5 consecutive quality starts, right? Allowing 3 runs or less and 6 earned more, 2 runs or less. He's just
I mean, and the fact that today he threw 25 pitches in the first inning, it was like, all right, maybe Brandon Pfaadt won't give us 6 innings today. And then he goes out and gives you 6 innings. Anyway, a lot of it is that he throws a lot of strikes. And so opposing hitters, once they see a few like hittable first pitch strikes, they're going to change their approach. They're not going to take those pitches anymore. They're going to try to do something with them. And they did have some success on first pitch swings tonight. Shohei Ohtani's double is an example of that. But if you get guys swinging early in the count, as often as they do against Pfaadt, you're setting yourself up to be able to rattle off a lot of innings in a short period of time. So, yeah, just really, really impressive stuff from him once again.
The other thing about Brandon is that he's such a big game pitcher. Like it feels like every time the stakes are highest, that's when he goes out there and just shoves the most.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I mean, it's how cool he can stay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that when you look around the Diamondbacks team, you don't really feel a lot of guys have like that clutch factor, that ability to like in those bigger moments, in those higher situations, to really step up. The way that Jesse's stepping up right now in this high leverage situation,
in the midst of a war zone,
with a fucking war going on behind him, and he's just sitting here doing the show, not worried about being murdered, and just plugging along. And Jesse might lie, obviously, about how concerned he is for his own safety. I never lie how concerned I am about Jesse's safety, but the numbers, they also don't lie. So, Jesse, what do you have before you get literally drowned out by the clanking around you as your number for this game?
Oh goodness, I apologize once again. This is unfortunate, but yes, the number for today is 261. 262. I wasn't sure if I was remember. I chose this number so long ago at this point I couldn't remember. 262. This is, you guys might have talked about this. This is Ketel Marte's batting average during his 20-game hit streak, which is like actually a totally like normal batting average. Like there's not really anything very interesting about 262. I think 18 out of the 20 games, I want to say, he's had exactly one hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a reminder that like you could have a 162 game hit streak, and if you if you just get one hit in each game, like you might be hitting like 237 at the end of the year, but you also like made insane history at the same time. So yeah, it's been a bit of a quiet 20 game hit streak, relatively speaking, for Ketel Marte, but he's still been. I mean, it just goes to show that he's been.
Put some respect on my king's name, Jesse. How dare you?
He's been really the model of consistency in the middle of the lineup. So yeah, I mean that's the biggest takeaway there. Like whatever the batting average is, he continues to be a big time contributor. And I better get going because I don't know.
It's a wrap for you. We're fucking done. We're not doing this anymore. All
right. My days are clearly numbered at this point, or maybe my minutes. I don't know.
Oh man. Well, of course, we thank you guys for stopping by. We thank Jesse for surviving this show. We don't know how much longer he has left.
I need to ask Jesse a question.
Oh, please do. You had a question for me. Yes, go ahead.
This is maybe skewed by the loud noises that are happening currently in the background. But I was going to ask Jesse, have you ever heard anything louder than the pop Dodger Stadium got tonight when Shohei Ohtani almost hit it to the warning track? I mean, they were losing their minds. I thought they shot confetti out all over the field, and everybody was going to like toss on memorabilia T-shirts. It was wild.
Damon's bitter.
Yeah, I will say the Dodgers fans, like the stereotype there does seem to be true. The Dodgers fans get pretty dang excited over like routine fly balls. Even I find myself a little bit fooled by it at times. Like I'm looking down at my scorecard or whatever, and I miss someone putting the ball in play, and based on the roar of the crowd, I'm like, oh, like something big must have just happened. And then you look up, and it's like
under a ball.
Yeah, you see Jake McCarthy just like waiting for the ball to come down. So yeah, that does seem to be kind of a real thing. I mean, and let's face it, like every fan base, I think, does that to a certain extent. But yeah, maybe Dodgers fans are a little more so.
They're talking and doing other stuff, and then the crack of the bat happens, and they get excited.
They just don't know ball like that. They don't know like exit velocity and launch angle.
Yeah, hard hit percentage and
it's sad.
Blast rate, squared up rate, barrel rate. They don't know any of those.
Blast rate,
sweet spot,
barrel rate. Yeah, all of that stuff. So, of course. We do, though, and that's why you watch us. Of course, we thank you guys for being here. We hope you guys come back tomorrow for our final post-game show of this series, our post-series show, where we will be breaking down the numbers from the series, hopefully talking about an Arizona Diamondbacks series win. Of course, Jesse will still be in Los Angeles, and then we're going to switch off and not tolerate each other, and I'm going to do a day without Jesse, and Jesse's going to do a day without me when I go to Las Vegas. So good times ahead. Of course, make sure to like this video. Make sure, more importantly, to follow us on Twitter. I am at Cap_Kman with a K. My buddy Jesse is at Jesse and Friedman. Of course, the people's producer, Damon, is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. We are Damon's Dogs.
Bark, bark.
Bark. Our show is at PHNX_DBacks. But, of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys again so much for your time. We appreciate you stopping by. And again, we'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a wonderful night. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Ketel Marte hits the baseball in 20 consecutive games.
We all silly like the mayor.